Hi!
Hey everyone!
Hey, so we thought we'd just put together a bit of a video about what we've been doing over the last 15, 16 months.
Something like that.
I pretty much had been overweight for most of my adult life, and I had tried quite a bit. I'd tried exercise regimes and programs, and I tried dieting and a few different things, and none of it really seemed to work for me. But I'd seen somebody's results and what they were doing, and we then started on the ketogenic diet. We started in July 2018, and we wanted to show you a couple of before and after shots. So here is me before. It was actually, this is just after I started because I forgot to take a photo at the very beginning. And then this is me only a couple of months after. So you can see I've slimmed down. The top I was wearing in the first shot didn't fit me anymore, so I had to go to a t-shirt that was smaller. And so that was the difference there. But I can also show you a couple of photos that are side by side of my face, and these ones are a year apart. So this is me on my birthday in 2018 versus me in my birthday in 2019. So that's a big difference there, and I often get...
I think you look about 10 years younger.
Yeah, someone said to me, it looks like someone and their dad in that photo. So that was pretty encouraging.
So seeing Sean's results with his weight loss, he's done it obviously because he's wanted to lose weight. But we also made a decision that we would do this journey together. Obviously, I don't need to really lose a lot of weight. Obviously, all of us like to, but at the same time, it's more about the health.
Yeah.
It's about being healthy on the inside, and then as a result, the fat, I guess the excess fat will come off. But it's about being healthy, and that's something that's important to us, as well as we want our kids to be healthy. So seeing this journey, I guess for now we've decided to make this a long-term journey.
One of the thoughts is you don't lose weight to get healthy. You get healthy and your body will lose the weight.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that we've been working on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is keto? I know you've probably heard of it. There is it is everywhere at the moment. And for us, we're not just jumped on a hype bandwagon, to be honest. For us, this is actually something that we've found has really worked for us. It is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet. So it's really minimal carbs, but at the same time, yeah. So our fat, and I know for me, when we first started thinking high fat, that's just gone against the grain for me.
Yeah.
I thought, how can you, I always thought lean meats, but it's actually switching to the higher fat meat. That really was a process for me to really change my mindset on that.
I guess part of it is that your body loves carbs, and it'll burn carbs if it's got the option of that. But most people know that if you don't eat enough food, your body starts burning your own fat. Yeah. But as soon as you eat carbs again, your body will go back to burning those carbs. Yeah. So by eating fat, you keep the fat burning going, and that's what helps you lose the weight. It burns the fat, your body runs off fat, it creates ketones, which is where the ketogenic name comes from, and then you just keep going. So for us, that looks like a lot of things that we don't eat. So we don't eat rice, pasta, potato, bread. Well, there's levels of cleanliness. So we're doing it pretty clean and avoiding stuff like maltodextrin and dextrose and that sort of thing. But that is how we're doing it.
So why are we doing keto? Well, apart from what we've talked about with Sean's weight loss, as we also mentioned, we want to work on improving our health, and obviously we want to be as healthy as we can for as long as we can. But also in our family history and things like that, we've got things like diabetes. We just want to make sure that we are doing what we can to prevent that in ourselves. I heard something recently which made me think a little bit about what we eat and why we eat and etc. So eating food for medicine, because if you don't, one day you'll be having medicine for food. It just made me think that we all need to really be mindful about what we are putting into our bodies.
So, and the way we're doing that, so we sort of touched on it before, so no sugars, no starches, no refined carbs.
Yeah.
There are sugar replacements. So even though we talk about not having sugar and missing sweets, there are ways that you can still have sweetness in your diet. There's good sweeteners, there's bad sweeteners. So we're trying to focus on a few of the good ones. And the other thing that we've been doing is tracking our food and exercise and that sort of thing. So I use an app called MyFitnessPal. It's a free app. You can pay for extra features and stuff, but for what we're doing, that's a good enough place to get started.
Yeah.
And I've got an old Samsung watch that counts my steps, and I have to manually put them into the app to make it work. But that's how I'm tracking my food, making sure that I'm having the right amounts of fats, carbs, and protein, and then weighing it up against the energy that I'm spending during the day.
Yeah, that's right. And if you've got a Fitbit, I think it does it automatically anyway. So it really is so easy just to track what you're eating, as well as getting your steps in, or what exercise you're doing.
And I think it is really important to do that and be honest with yourself, because it's an accountability thing. It helps you see why you're making progress or why you're not making progress. I say I don't exercise. I walk home from the station at the 5 days a week, from the train station. I catch a train to work. On the way back, I walk home, and I'm doing somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 steps a day. So I do occasionally hit over 10,000, but that's my exercise.
You haven't been going to the gym.
No.
You haven't done a crazy exercise program to achieve what you have. It really has centered around cutting those carbs.
It's just food.
It is. It just shows just how much of an impact that food actually makes. So how long are we looking at doing this ketogenic diet, if you want to call it that? Is this just something that's you've lost the weight now, you're gonna, this is actually a lifestyle for us.
Yeah.
We've seen the benefit, not just of the weight loss, but even just how we feel. And I think the energy that you feel from not having the carb. So the ketogenic diet for us is a long-term plan.
So there have been some challenges with doing this, and some of them are social, like for example, eating out. If you go to a restaurant, you'll find most things that have got a tomato-based sauce will have sugar or something in it, and wheat is in everything.
Although those options are becoming more and more available, but even though still we don't. For us, we're not doing wheat anyway.
Yeah.
So it is still challenging, even though there are more vegan options and gluten-free options and all those sort of things.
But there are safe options. So if you're getting
yeah.
meat and veggies, so either roast and veggies or meat and in salad or something like that, they're probably your
there are options. Yeah. Like it is still possible. It's going to reduce your options a little bit.
And then eating out with friends at friends' places, that's been a bit tricky as well. We've got some really cool friends, and they try their best to help us out, and then, but we don't expect them to do that. We always bring something that everyone can eat and
something
fits
we can
what we
contribute.
want.
Yeah.
And that sort of helps us get through that.
One of the other challenges we have come up against is the convenience. We can't just grab everything and anything off the supermarket shelf. Now we have to make things from scratch. So as an example, you're in a hurry, jar of pasta sauce. We can't just do that. Sure, it doesn't take too long, and I think we're getting faster as we sort of find a routine in what we're doing. So we will get passata, make our own stock and herbs, and put all that in there as well. So so we find different alternatives, but we do have to do a lot more from scratch. You can get through that and find a new routine.
You can also replace most of the things that are your favourite. So there are recipes for keto bread. There are recipes. There's even a recipe for keto pasta, which we haven't tried yet.
Yes.
But like biscuits or cookies and all that sort of thing. Even things like mashed potato, like mashed cauliflower is awesome.
It actually really
I really love it.
Yeah.
And because it still tastes good, you're not giving up on mash in particular.
No.
You're just replacing it, and it's so good.
Yeah. So there are the things that we've replaced, but then we've found, let's just say, I think we're both notorious snackers. So I guess having snacks is another issue, but you'll find that even though you can't have all your traditional chips, crisps, lollies, chocolates, whatever you like to have a snack on, being on a keto diet and being, I guess, on the high fat, it actually keeps you fuller longer. So
you're
you
not as
can
hungry.
Not as hungry, and you can go from one meal to the next. And we actually don't have that need to snack. So we don't really miss out on anything as such. So for us, that's actually not a huge problem. If we do have a little bit of, might have nuts or something like that.
Yeah.
But generally, we don't have a need for any sweets or crisps or chips.
One of the other challenges we came across was a thing called, well, they call it the keto flu, but really it's about a week in, and your body is suffering from withdrawals. And as it's switching over from sugar burning to fat burning, you can feel a little bit down on energy, you can feel a bit rubbishy, and just something you need to push through. And you see people who say, oh, I tried keto for a week and it didn't work. It's because they reached that point where their body was switching over and they gave up. So that's just one thing you need to be in mind.
You need to push through. You need to push through that. And trust me, when you get to the other side, you actually just feel so much better. So what are some of our favorite meals that we have discovered on our ketogenic diet? First of all, I think one of our favorites is lasagna, but it's without the pasta sheet. We actually put cabbage in there. It still has the meat and the meat sauce. It has the cheese sauce as well as the cheese. It is actually so delicious. And I have to be honest, I would actually prefer that now over having the pasta in the lasagna. I know it's wrong, but it is really good. One of our other favorites is a peanut butter cheesecake. I love my sweets. Trust me, I was on mission to find something, and I absolutely love this. And this is something that we take to, we give it to people who aren't doing keto, and they love it as well. And for us, it's a treat one, but it's not something that we would have every day, but it is absolutely delicious. So it's got the sugar-free chocolate, and it's very much still a dessert that we can have without having all the sugar and the high carbs, I guess.
So some of the others that we really like, we like Thai, and you can do Thai in keto. You replace the rice with like a cauliflower rice, but the coconut milk is perfect for it, and it's still really good, something you can do. One of the other ones that we can do is a Vietnamese-inspired mince, where you put the sort of flavors through the mince, and then you can serve it with a fried egg on top, and maybe over spinach or something like that. And then slow cook. Slow cook's fine. Slow cook's easy, and you can use nice fatty chunks of meat in it, and it's
the meat just falls apart. So that is us. That is our journey so far. Thank you so much for watching.
And if you've got any questions, feel free to either message us or put something down in the comments. We'll have a look. If you think it could be helpful for anyone, feel free to share it around. And I guess we'll...
And I was going to say, if you have any questions, let us know.
Oh, see ya. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.